Welcome to the Truth Room with Débora. If you have ever seen the Lion King movie, there's a moment in it where Rafiki says to Simba, "Remember who you are." And something in him shifts, not because he learnt something new, but because he recognized something he had forgotten. I believe that's what so many of us are experiencing right now. We've built lives, identities, roles, sometimes out of survival, sometimes out of expectation. But deep down, there's something in us that knows this isn't all of me. And then comes a moment, quiet, unexpected, sometimes uncomfortable, where truth begins to rise, not loudly, but clearly. And it calls you back to who you were before the fear, before the pressure, before the world told you who to be. This series is about that journey. The forgetting, the running, the awakening, and the remembering. Because what if you're not becoming someone new? What if you're remembering who you've always been? Welcome to the Truth Room. Today, I want to talk about something we don't always realize is happening. The forgetting. Not forgetting things like where you put your keys, but forgetting who you are. I think for many of us, this doesn't happen suddenly. It happens slowly, quietly, over time, through experiences, through pain, through trying to survive. We start to shape ourselves around what feels safe. And without even noticing, we begin to move further and further away from who we truly are. Sometimes the forgetting comes from childhood, where you've learned to be strong or quiet or perfect, not because that's who you were, but because that's what was needed. Sometimes it comes from disappointment, rejection, or moments where life didn't go the way you expected. And instead of processing it fully, we adapt. We build versions of ourselves that can cope. We become who we need to be rather than who we are. And the truth is, that version looks like it's working. You can have the job, the responsibilities, the routine, and still feel like something is missing. But even in the forgetting, something in you still knows. There's a quiet awareness, a feeling that says, this isn't all of me. And you might not always have the words for it, but you can feel it in the moments of stillness, in the questions you can't ignore, in that gentle pull towards something more, something deeper, something true. For me, I had moments where I realized I hadn't been true to myself. I was playing a role I thought I was supposed to be, not who I actually was. But over the years, there was always this inner knowing, which has become stronger and that I can't ignore anymore. A call to step into something deeper, but not when everything is perfect, but now. And that's why this podcast exists. Not because I have everything figured out, but because I'm willing to be honest about the journey. And maybe the forgetting isn't something to be ashamed of. Maybe it's part of the journey. Because when you begin to see it, that's when everything starts to shift. The awareness, the questioning, the desire for something more. That's not weakness, that's awakening. And that's what the Truth Room is about. It's a space for real conversations, a space where we can take off the mask, speak honestly, and begin to heal. Because there is power in your story. And sometimes the very thing you've been through is the thing someone else needs to hear. If this episode resonated with you, if something in you felt seen, stirred, or even challenged, I want to invite you into this space. The Truth Room isn't just my voice, it's our voices. If you have a story, a journey, something you've been through, I would love to hear from you. You can reach out, share your story, or even be part of a future conversation. Because healing doesn't happen in silence. It happens when truth is spoken. This is the Truth Room with Débora, where truth is spoken and healing begins.